Hey guys, what is up? It is StopMat1998 here, and I am back with a brand new video. This is part 36 of my F1 2014 Career Mode series, and here we are today for the penultimate round of Season 2 around Brazil at Interlagos. And obviously in this round, Lewis Hamilton could potentially win the championship. If he wins and Freddie finishes in second, he won't win, because he'll only be increasing his current gap of 40 points by 7, which will make it 47 points going into the double points round in Abu Dhabi. But I think the main thing that Freddie has to worry about today is just beating Lewis Hamilton. That's all he needs to concentrate on. And obviously the championship can be thought about once the Brazilian Grand Prix is over. Another thing, guys, I've really just got to apologise for the lack of uploads. Obviously I have had exams going on, but still I haven't really been able to get out many videos on my main channel as I've wanted to. I've been uploading quite a bit on my second channel, quite frequently actually, but the main channel's sort of been slacking a little bit, and I'm aiming to improve it obviously over the summer. But yeah, just thought I'd apologise really just for the lack of uploads, because you guys do deserve a lot better from me. And yeah, hopefully I can start uploading consistently from now as the bulk of my exams are out of the way. I have one more to go on the 4th of June, and then after that I should just be able to fully focus on YouTube. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the qualifying report. In Q1, all teams were on tenterhooks as there was an 80% chance of rain. The session started off terribly for Daniel Kvyat as he was forced to park up due to an engine problem. As the rain began to fall, there was barely any action out on the track, so it was the other Toros of Jean-Eric Vergne who was a surprise casualty. Q2 saw an impressive performance from Sauber's Adrian Sutil as he just missed out on Q3 by just one position as he ended the session in 11th. Felipe Massa and Nico Hulkenberg were both disappointed with their qualifying sessions as they would line up in 12th and 13th respectively. Both McLaren's and Sergio Perez progressed. The rain eased off for Q3 and the teams opted to run the intermediate tyres. Freddie was incredibly lucky to make the top 10 shootout, but another dodgy Q3 performance saw him line up in 9th place. Kevin Magnussen managed 6th for McLaren, with Sebastian Vettel impressing most by out-qualifying Fernando Alonso to 3rd. But yet again it was Mercedes Lewis Hamilton who would take pole position around Interlagos, with his teammate lining up next to him. So Lewis Hamilton's in prime position for the World Championship, and with a chance of more rain in the race it will be very difficult for Freddie Gray to catch, so will he be able to seal his 2nd World Championship?
Only a few corners to go now, and desperation starts to creep in for Lewis Hamilton.
Raikkonen's 3rd, and is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again! 100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstands. Yes! The 2008 Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton.
So here we go then, guys, for the Brazilian Grand Prix today, round 18 of Season 2 of F1 2014 Career Mode, and it is intermediate tyres yet again for the race. And obviously Freddie, a very disappointing qualifying session, 9th place overall, really just couldn't get to grips with his Ferrari. It's just himself and the car just don't suit the intermediate conditions whatsoever. Obviously we've got first 6 laps today where we need to stop Lewis Hamilton from winning the championship. He is starting on pole, so it's going to be a huge challenge for us today. But as you can see, the chance of rain is only 55%, so we probably won't need to fit on the 2nd set of intermediate tyres later on in the Grand Prix. But anyway, let's try and stop Lewis Hamilton from winning the championship today. So here we go now, on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix, starting directly behind Valtteri Bottas and just behind Jenson Button as the lights are illuminating above the drivers now, and they are out, and away we go here for the Brazilian Grand Prix today. Probably the most important race apart from the finale in Abu Dhabi if Lewis Hamilton doesn't win the championship today. But as you can see, we've gotten an awesome start already ahead of Bottas and Button, and diving down the inside of Felipe Massa as well as a couple of McLarens. I think that's Kevin Magnussen, and we've also passed Nico Rosberg. We're already up into 3rd position here. What a start this has been from Freddie. Once again, this is just what he needed. And Fernando Alonso now just ahead of him should let him through in theory, seeing as he's not fighting for the Drivers' Championship. We mustn't forget that we are still fighting for the Constructors as well with Mercedes. But as you can see, going down into turn 3 now, we have actually passed Alonso. But look at that. That is Vettel and Rosberg who have just crashed. So that is 2 main contenders for this race out already. So those are 2, well, Rosberg obviously will be helping out Hamilton, so that's good for us. But now Ferrari are 2 and 3 with Hamilton within striking distance at the moment. Let's just hope that he doesn't escape, because obviously it's very easy for the Mercedes to do that in these conditions, seeing as it just has much better mechanical grip overall. But at the moment, it has been an incredibly successful start, and it's a huge battle for third in the drivers and the constructors. That makes the Rosberg and Vettel crash even more vital.
Okay, Freddie, that's a great start. Much better than we expected, so plan B is the way to go at the moment.
So we're seemingly going with plan B in this race, which might be an undercut on Lewis Hamilton. So I think the recommended pit stop lap for our first stop is lap 12. So we might be pitting in a couple of laps earlier, maybe lap 10, maybe lap 11. We're going to see how it goes later on in the Grand Prix, whether Hamilton pulls away or not. But now skipping on to lap 9, nothing else really happened, and Hamilton pulled away by a good 4.2 seconds, and Fernando Alonso was much quicker than us behind, and behind him I believe was Daniel Ricciardo, who just didn't have the pace to catch up with both of the Ferraris and obviously the Mercedes Lewis Hamilton. But now Alonso might actually go for the move here, because Alonso was much quicker than Freddie during this first stint, and obviously we haven't lost any more cars apart from Rosberg and Vettel on the first lap. Again, Vettel in a massive battle with Ricciardo in the Drivers' Championship for third, and Rosberg obviously helping out Hamilton and for the constructors as well. But as you can see, I think we're actually going to go into the pits this lap, but then Alonso awkwardly tries and overtakes us just as we enter the pits. But obviously plan B does seem to be being carried out here by the Ferrari strategy team, as we are pitting one lap earlier than Lewis Hamilton. But I think Lewis Hamilton's pretty much won this Grand Prix unless the rain goes, which I think will probably happen about halfway through this race. So around about lap 18, probably a little bit after that, seeing as there was a 55% chance of rain. Normally what that means on this game is that it will rain for 55% of the race, so it will probably be just after lap 18 when the rain stops. But now skipping on to lap 12, we've actually seemed to have lost a car here, and in fact the safety car has now been deployed, so that has changed things quite a lot now, and I don't think that's going to really affect proceedings too much. I think Hamilton will still maintain, as you can see at pit exit, we have just rejoined ahead of Fernando Alonso, but I believe that's Magnussen in second, who is yet to pit. And Lewis Hamilton has still maintained the lead. So again, we're going to have to try and get a good restart here, as I believe we do have some team radio coming in.
The safety car is in this lap. Put it up to mix 3 and try to grab the lead.
So our engineer wants us to take the lead back from Lewis Hamilton. Obviously the safety car is in this lap, and we've still got Fernando Alonso behind us. We're going to put it into rich mix anytime soon, and we need to get the best stop possible, get the best acceleration possible, and hopefully we can try and pull off a move on Hamilton into turn 1. Actually, it's taken an absolute age for us to get back into green flag racing. I think the safety car line's actually coming up here, and indeed it has. We are back to green flag racing here. I'm going to try and overtake Hamilton, but Hamilton's already pulled away massively there. Just the acceleration in his car seems so much better. We are gaining on him as the drag's beginning to kick in for Lewis Hamilton. Going to try and dive up the inside, but actually no, we don't even go for that. We were just too far back, and now we get all sorts of oversteer. Probably a bit of the dirty air there from Lewis Hamilton's car, but now Alonso is all over the back of us, and will he be able to make a move? I very much doubt it. Also, Alonso knows the battle that Freddie's in with Lewis Hamilton for the Drivers' Championship, so I don't think he really wants to affect proceedings too much. And I think, yes, Alonso indeed is backing out. So he wants Freddie to have that battle with Lewis Hamilton. He wants him to win the championship, obviously, for himself, which would be good for Ferrari and obviously the constructors as well.
There's a dry spell appearing on the radar. The rain should be gone in about 10 minutes time.
So there's actually a dry spell appearing on the radar, so the rain will be clearing up very soon, which could give us a chance of catching up Hamilton. But also the safety car has been deployed because of this incident here with Jean-Eric Vergne and Valtteri Bottas. As you can see going into turn 1, Jean-Eric Vergne completely outbrakes them and crashes straight into the back of the Williams driver, taking off his rear wing and his rear tyre as well. And that is an absolutely huge crash there. Hopefully both of those guys are okay. And yeah, that was an absolutely huge impact there at turn 1. And this safety car has definitely helped Freddie in the fact that it's allowed him to close the gap to Lewis Hamilton, who was beginning to pull away during that small stint between both safety cars. And I think what Freddie's going to do this time, he's going to try and weave a little bit to get some temperature into his tyres, because it was clear from before that the pressures weren't quite right. And that's why he didn't have any grip going to turn 1. That's why he got so much oversteer. But I think this time it should be much better. He shouldn't have too many problems this time. As you can see, he's got it up into rich mix, and he's going to try and get the straight line speed on Lewis Hamilton. He seems to be gaining on him quite quickly once again. Again, the drag kicking in on Hamilton's car, but I think it's actually kicked in on ours as well, as we do seem to stop gaining. So Freddie's going to try and dive out the inside, but once again, he is too far back to do that. And again, the grip going into the second centre rest is just absolutely horrible, and just allowed Hamilton to pull away once again. And yeah, I think from this point onwards, I think we've just got to wait for another 5 minutes until the rain clears, and then we should be able to mount a serious challenge to Lewis Hamilton, the Mercedes driver. Because obviously, as it stands, Hamilton won't win the championship, but it's not going to be ideal because this gap is going to be something like 47 points. But as you can see now, skipping on to lap 24, Lewis Hamilton's pulled away by quite a bit, but now going into the final corner, I think this is the lap that everyone's going to be pitting in for dry tyres. But now Hamilton's actually spun up the final corner, and as you can see, Hamilton's just dropped down into third place because we have just passed him on lap 24, and now we're going to be pitting him for a set of dry tyres with Fernando Alonso. That's absolutely horrible for Lewis Hamilton. There's just not enough grip on his intermediate tyres, and he just spun out really. because he went onto a dry patch and just had no grip whatsoever on his current set of tyres. I'm going to put on the set of option tyres now to take us to the end of the Grand Prix. As you can see, we're getting held up massively here. I hope this won't cost us too much. You can see 4 cars going past us there. And actually, look behind. Actually, that's Lewis Hamilton being boxed in due to Ferrari double sacking. Now, Ricciardo is all the way up into 2nd place with Hülkenberg in 3rd. What is going on here? Everything's just changed so much in the space of a couple of seconds because of that crazy pit stop window. And now I believe Hamilton is all the way down in like P9 or something. I think we're going to see any second now. As you're looking at the standings, Hamilton's down in P9. He's actually fitted on the intermediate tyres for whatever reason. I have no idea what that's about, but now he's going to have to pit again. I really don't know why the game programmed Hamilton to do that. It's really stupid there. Now, that's cost Hamilton dear, and I think he did actually drop down to P15 as a result. But now, skipping on to the end of lap 26, and I believe Freddie has just set a fast lap here, a 1 minute 15.5, I think that is, and Ricciardo behind 2.6 seconds back. So it's going to be a question of whether Ricciardo can catch us up now, and there's quite a few cars behind him as well, so if he catches Freddie up along with the other cars, there'll be a titanic battle to lead come the end of the Grand Prix.
So Daniel Ricciardo behind is now catching you along with a few others. There may be quite some battle for the lead.
So as our engineer just said there, Ricciardo is obviously closing in 1.1 seconds now, so he's closed in a good 1.5 seconds since the last lap I showed you guys. So really, Ricciardo's just on the pace, and Freddie's car just doesn't really seem to be working. I don't know whether the tyres just aren't after temperature at all. I think it's just because Ricciardo just seems to have supreme pace for some reason. Now onto lap 31. The gap is 4 tenths of a second, so Ricciardo, obviously not with the best straight line speed, he's going to have to take his opportunity through the corners and try and get as close to Freddie's get close to the back of Freddie's car as possible. Now Ricciardo going to try and make a move out the inside, but he taps the back of Freddie's car and just about controls what looked to be a destined spin there. As you can see, hitting the back of Freddie's car and almost spinning, but very, great credit there to Ricciardo for actually managing to control it. But now Freddie getting onto the marbles, understeering out on lap 34, and now Ricciardo and Button have caught up. So now this titanic battle is about to happen here, so this could be an absolutely crazy last couple of laps. Ricciardo's got so much better traction out of the final corner, and Ricciardo should be able to make a move down into turn 1. Freddie's going to have to defend, he's going to have to soak up the pressure. Obviously, he's very good at handling the pressure, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. But as you can see, Ricciardo might go to the inside. It all depends now whether Ricciardo can go for the move or not, and he does back out actually, so a bit disappointing there from Ricciardo, but there's still more opportunities. Obviously, this next straight now is where Ricciardo should be able to overtake, but actually he's dropped back a little bit, and I believe that's Button in 3rd, with Hülkenberg in 4th, Massa in 5th, and then Alonso in 6th. So Fernando Alonso's made good progress after being sort of disadvantaged by that pit stop window, obviously with the transition onto the dry tyres. But now Freddie locks up once again. Now Ricciardo's right behind him along with Jensen Button. Obviously Alonso has caught up once again, but now Ricciardo going to go for a similar move. He seems to get so much better traction out of that corner, but this time he doesn't repeat what he did a couple of laps ago and hit the back of Freddie's car. As you can see, we've also got a back marker ahead which could affect proceedings here as we are about to enter the final lap now, but it's all going to be about whether Ricciardo can get a good exit out of the final corner. Freddie seems seemingly sliding through the final corner. His tyres are clearly gone. He's only been on his tyres for a good 12 laps now, around about that distance. But now Ricciardo, with the straight line speed and that Red Bull, obviously doesn't have it much of it, so he's going to have to rely heavily on the DRS tip. But also Jensen Button behind him, going to get in double slipstream from both Freddie and Ricciardo. Now going into the first corner, now Ricciardo backs off. I believe that's a crash behind. I think that's Jensen Button that has lost his front wing. As you can see in the slow-mo here, Button just crashing the back of Ricciardo because Ricciardo just broke so early after backing off from the move that he was about to pull on Freddie. And now Button's race has been ruined, so now it looks like Hülkenberg will finish on the podium. But now look at that, Ricciardo getting so much better traction out of the so much better traction and grip out of the centre. He's going to try and make a move up the inside. There's also chaos going on behind, like 3 abreast back there. And I think Alonso, our teammate, is now up into 4th position. So what an I'm just lost for words now. This final lap has just been absolutely mental. I just don't have any words anymore. But as you can see ahead, the back marker doesn't really seem to be affecting things too much. But again, he could move out of the way right at the last second and could perhaps cost us the win at the expense of Daniel Ricciardo, who has driven incredibly well today. Ricciardo once again going for that move. He just needs to get so much better traction, then has to back out in order to avoid making contact with the back of Freddie's car. So really, Freddie's just got to maintain it now. He's just got to drive sensibly and not do anything stupid. Just got to get a good exit out of this final corner, and he should be able to take the Grand Prix. And obviously, the most important thing is now that Lewis Hamilton will not win the Drivers' Championship, and it will go down to Abu Dhabi as well as the Constructors' Championship as well. So Freddie Gray now, he's on the home straight now, and he's going to come across the line to win the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Absolutely amazing drive, Freddie. We handled the pressure incredibly well. Let's hope to win both championships in Abu Dhabi. We are so proud of you and Fernando.
So emotional scenes here at Ferrari as Freddie Gray takes, I believe that is his 7th race victory of the season, followed by Daniel Ricciardo in 2nd and Nico Hülkenberg with a podium in 3rd. So very good drive from the Red Bull and the Force India guys there. Alonso finishing in 4th with Massa in 5th and Perez in 6th. Bus only dropping to 7th with Magnussen in 8th and Lewis Hamilton in 9th place, only picking up 2 points today. So let's see how that affects the Drivers' Championship. Also what I'm going to say is Kvyat as well, finishing in 10th after starting last. Don't forget, after his problems in Q1 yesterday. And what does this mean for the Drivers' Championship then? So as you can see, Lewis Hamilton on 306 points and Freddie Gray on 289 points. So he is only 17 points back, I believe. So obviously the championship permutation will be at the beginning of the next episode. Also, Daniel Ricciardo taking 3rd at the expense of Sebastian Vettel thanks to his 2nd place finish today. Nico Rosberg in 5th with Fernando Alonso in 6th, and also titanic battle for 7th between Kevin Magnussen, Jenson Button and Felipe Massa, possibly even Nico Hülkenberg if he can get a good result in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As for the constructors' stands, we've got Mercedes on 475 points, with Ferrari only at 23 points back. And with double points coming into play for the next Grand Prix, that's going to make things incredibly interesting. So we could possibly seal both championships, which would just be a dream, really. I mean, at the beginning of the season, Freddie really didn't think that Ferrari would be able to challenge for the Constructors' Championship. We're still in with a shout, with one more race to go. Red Bull in 3rd, with McLaren in 4th, and then Williams in 5th. And that's about it today, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The next one will be the finale in Abu Dhabi, which should be out in a few weeks. So I just need to work on it a little bit more and just make it the best video possible for you guys. Do you think Freddie will win the championship? Be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section below. And I will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.